Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're basically back to our regular schedule with phenomenal puzzles such as this one that we're taking a look at today with an incredible rating. Let me just confirm what it looks like at the moment. It's just absolutely stunning. Another sort of 93-94% rated puzzle, so I'm really looking forward to it once again. Now, the title of the puzzle is Foggy Outside, and you can see Sleuth here standing outside. It looks like he's about ready to sort of raid in, outside of some sort of warehouse. And you can see it looks like he's got a gun in his holster there on the right. But Sleuth, don't do it. It's foggy. You've got low visibility. You're really quite, it's quite bright despite it being light. Maybe some kind of aurora up there. So, yeah, don't do it, Sleuth. Save yourself, catch criminals in a more intelligent way than just raiding in there, please. Now, let's take a look at today's puzzle. We are looking at Foggy Outside by Flinty. We featured a couple of Flinty's puzzles recently, and one of them was an absolutely phenomenal puzzle from him as well. I'm going to recommend that you check it out, and if I can remember, I will try and put a card and link it up here so you can actually just directly go to it. We have relatively straightforward set of rules. Sandwich sums we haven't done much of, so I will take a bit more time to explain them because looking at the number of clues that we have around sandwiches, we're clearly going to need to rely on them to actually reveal a lot of the fog that we have ahead of us. So, rule sets. Standard Sudoku rules apply, so that means the digits 1 to 9 in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. Pretty standard set of rules. Quadruples, digits in a circle, such as the one that's sort of half hidden by the fog here, must appear in that 2x2 grid. So this 1, 9 that you can see here must appear in these adjacent 2x2 cells, and the same is true for this 1x9 grid as well. 1x9 quite important when we take a look at sandwich sums. Now, numbers on the outside give the sum of the digits between 1 and 9 in that column or row. So let's use an example. This 3 up here, what it's saying is somewhere along this column is a 1 and a 9, or a 1 and a 9, and whatever cells are between them, the sum of them must equal 3. So something to bear in mind when you're thinking about sandwich sums is the clue here not only tells you where the 1 and 9s are, it tells you about how many possible cells there is between them, given they need to sum up to this value that's shown here. So, thermometers, I'm guessing that there are some hidden underneath that fog. I'm going to draw one. They tend to look something along those lines. And essentially what it's saying is digits increase from the bulb end. So imagine that would be the bulb end. Imagine that's a real thermometer. If this is 3, the next digit along, just as in a real thermometer would be, must be higher. And as you continue up the bulb end, you must continue to increase the digits. It doesn't have to be linear, doesn't have to be anything like that. As long as you continue up the cells, the next one needs to be higher than the previous one, and so on and so forth. Let me remove all of that. And then we've got arrow cells. So arrows, digits along an arrow sum to the digits in the circle. How am I going to represent this? So imagine that's a circle here, and essentially an arrow would do something along those lines. What it's saying is these 3 cells along the arrow must sum up to a value that would be in this circle. And obviously, as we continue to solve this puzzle, you will see more of the grid revealed, and therefore we'll be able to understand, some of these rule sets that I'm actually having to draw at the moment. We've got only really one that's actually typed out, but really it's got 2 more rules. First off is the black/white Kropki dots. I can't really draw these. Yeah, I really can't draw these. But imagine that this is essentially a black Kropki dot between 2 cells. What it's saying is that these 2 cells must be in a 1:2 ratio. Equally, it could be that it is a white cell, which I'm going to draw here in gray, a white dot, And these two digits must be consecutive. So if that was, for example, a 2, this would have to be 1 or 3. If that was a black Kropki dot, this 2 would say that this is not 1 or 3, it has to be in a 2-to-1 ratio, it will be 1 or 4. There are no negative constraints for Kropki dots. Now, the obvious thing that's not mentioned here is the fact that this is a fog puzzle. So I'm not going to sort of do this, but imagine, since we know that 1 and 9 are somewhere in these cells, imagine that this is the 1, and if it proves to be correct, what it will do is it will reveal all of these cells around it, in particular the cells that are currently covered in fog, and hopefully revealing more clues that would allow us to figure out what on earth is going on in this puzzle. Now, if you want to rescue Sleuth from storming into a warehouse full of criminals with just a handgun to support, link will be in the description down below as usual if you want to play along. And with that said, let me restart the clock and see how I get on. Now, when I was explaining the sandwich sums, it was pretty obvious for me that the 1s and 9s cannot be anywhere in these cells, because we've got a quadruple that is saying that the 1 and 9 is somewhere in here, the 1 and 9 is somewhere in here, essentially eliminating 1s and 9s in all of these boxes and all of these rows, all of these columns. So we know that there is a 1 and 9 in here. We also know that they're not consecutive, because this sandwich sum cell is saying to us that there is essentially a 1 and 9 as such, and there is a cell or cells that sum up to 3. So it is only one cell, this is the 3, and there we go. Because this is on the bulb end, there's no way this could have been a 9. That would mean that would be 10, 11, that's the 1, that's the 9. I tend to, not necessarily always, sort of highlight where 1s and 9s can be using colors. I think this might backfire by sort of highlighting where the 1s and 9s aren't, because what it will do is it'll make very difficult, for example, you can see already that, you know, cells where the fog isn't and cells where the fog is, very hard to tell them apart. So I may stop that in the future. Let me just have a think about it first. So 26. Now, when you think about 26, you might think that's not a particularly significant number. But when it comes to sandwich sums, it actually is. Because you have to remember that the 1 and the 9 are not included in the sum. So the 26 means that there is a run somewhere in here, not including the 1 and 9, that sums up to 26. Let me highlight these cells, for example, or these cells. Now, it also means that there is a 1 and 9 around them. That's another 10, so we're at 36. And then because we've got standard Sudoku rules, it means that there is another set of cells that add up to 9. How did I make that? Because we've got the digits 1 to 9 in the row. We already have 36. If you sum up the digits 1 to 9, you get to 45. 45 minus 36, you'll get 9. Now, 9 can be the sum of one cell. Not possible, because that would mean the 9. 2 cells, or 3 cells. We've got 3 here that are red. These are the ones that must add up to 9. These are the 1/9s. And between them is 26. Or 4 cells that add up to 26. To complete this, I need to get to 6 in here. 1, 5 is not possible. I've already used the 1. This can only be 2 and 4. And notice, because it's on a thermometer, this has to be the 2, this has to be the 4. If this is a 1 with a white Kropki dot, this would have to be a 2 not available in the row. This is a 9, this is an 8, this is a 1. Lovely. Notice up here the 10, which tells us that there is at least 2 cells that sum up to 10, possibly even 3 cells that sum up to 10, to get to 10. What I guess it's telling us, and you know, the arrow obviously is also telling us the same thing, is that this is not the 9, And in fact, none of these can be the 9 because we've got them here. This is the 9. And obviously it couldn't have been on any of these because these are arrow cells. And it means 9 plus something else is leading up to a single digit. And clearly that's not going to be possible. So we need 2 ways to make this cell in here, which could be as low as 6. So that could be 1, 5, and 2, 4. Can't be 6 because we've got 2, 4 in here. Could be actually as low as 5, pardon me. That could be 1, 4, and 2, 3. Again, can't be 5 because of 2, 3. So this is not 5 or 6 or 9. The only remaining possibilities is 7 and 8. With the 1, this could be obviously a 6 or a 7 to get to 8. Now we need to be thinking about this group here. This is 5, 6, or 7 as a remainder to sort of complete this row. Now to get to 7 and 8, remember 1 is not available. So I'm fairly sure this can't be a 7. This is 5 or 6 with a 2 or 3. Yeah. It could be 5 and 2 to make 7, or 5 and 3 to make 8, or 6 and 2 to make 8. That looks correct to me. Right, let's think about the 10 now. Yeah, I think I'll think about the 10. So if this is a 7, I can't have 1 and 2 because 1 is gone. So this would have to be a 3, and this would have to be 9 to make these two sum up to 10. If this is 8, this would be a 2, can't have a double 1. And this again would always be the 9. So that's the 9. That's revealing the next set. These are all red. Notice the 4 here and the 9. You might think you can do 1, 3, but obviously that isn't possible because that would double up the 1 in the row with the sandwich sum rules. So at least for 4, this has to be a 4, this has to be a 1 to allow us to actually basically complete all of this. We've got all of these now that are red. And in fact, we know these have to be 1, 9. And I guess we know that these have to be 1, 9 as well, somewhere in here. So these are also red. These are red. These are red. We've got 1 and 9 somewhere in here. We'll need to reveal a bit more of the puzzle to understand what it could be. The black Kropki dot, the fact that we've got 1 and 4 in the box means this can't be 1, 2, this can't be 2, 4, and this can't be 4, 8. This can only be 3 or 6. Making this a 2, making this an 8, making this a 7. Unfortunately, there are still many options here. This could still be 5, 3, or 6, 2. I don't actually know what it is. That's not a 7. That is the 7 though. Got a 5, 6 pair. I need a 4 in the box. It can only be in here. That's the 2, 3. 2, 3 pair. Looking at this 3, 6. That's a 6. That's a 3. I need to put 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to say 5, 7, and 8. Yeah. That's the 5. We've got 7 and 8 in the column. 7 and 8 are now here. Nothing to disambiguate them at this point. Look at this in the column. So what are the digits that we have remaining? We've got 3, 4, and 6, I'm going to say. Now 6 cannot be on this thermometer because this is not the bulb end. This is decreasing. And it looks like the thermometer is continuing. So I think this is a 4, a 3, a 6. What do we have here? I remember we have 1 and 9. So clearly one of these 1 and 9s, because they're not consecutive, is down here. And then there's one more in there. So it's either a 1, 2, not possible. We've got a 2, 3 in here. Or a 9, 8, which is possible. And we have a 7 there. So 7, 8. I said the 1 is on the outside. And this is now an 8, 9 pair, which we have not disambiguated. We've got 3 and 6, 4 and 8 and 1. This can only be a 2 on a black Kropki dot. We've basically eliminated every other possibility. This is 1 or 4. This 18 is doing some work for us. We know what this sums up to. So this is 12. We need another 6 to make 18. That's a 6. That's a 5. This has to be a 3 to add up to the 8. That's a 2. To complete the box, we need 5 and 7. We've got a 1 here, meaning there's a 1 there. We know that there is a 1 in this vicinity because of the quadruple circle, and this one is eliminating all of these. So this has to be a 4. It's not a 1, 4. It's not doing enough though. Let's think about it though. Could this be the 9? Because it would mean all of these cells, 4 of them, are adding up to 17. Unfortunately, because these are so low, 2, 4, as in 6, these two would be 11. 2, 9 wouldn't be available. 3, 8 wouldn't be available. 4, 7 is not available, but 5, 6 is. So unfortunately, this is actually quite plausible that this is 1 and this is 9 and this is a 5, 6 pair. Now, if this is an 8, this would have to be, yeah, take a look at this. The 1 would have to give, we'd have to basically move the 1 as far away as possible because the 9 would be here. Obviously, if I put the 1 and 9 in there, I'm not going to be able to get to 17. It'll be 0 between them. Now, I'd only have 2 cells to get to 17, which normally would be possible if you have 8 and 9, but 9 is not available, and the 8 would be here. So this is not the case. The 9 has to be all the way back here. That's got to be the 8. That's got to be a 5, 6. That's got to be the 1. The 9 now is somewhere in here with a 6, because this is a 1, 9, 6, 7 quadruple, and the 5, 6 is looking at it. So this is a 6, 9 pair. 9, not 8. This is a 7, revealing all the cells, nothing interesting to be seen. And a 1, I guess. No, not 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 to complete the row. Have we done all the sandwich cells? We've done the 10, the 18, the 17. I guess I can do that. That helps me actually with this cell now. And therefore this is now a 3, 8 pair. Pretty much revealed the entire grid. I'm actually going to remove the red now. Because yeah, this is the only part now that's left. We know that there is 1 and 9 in here. Actually, I'm going to do this for a second. So there is a 1, 9 there. We've done 1, 9s, 1 done 1, 9s. We have a 9 in there. We know that there is another 1, 9 up here. And then basically we've done all the 1s and 9s. Almost actually, there's a 1 in here. So yeah, the coloring is pretty much useless at this point. We've done the 3, we've done the 17, we've done the 4, and we've done the 26. So we're done with sandwich clues. Can basically just do probably a bit of Sudoku to help us move forward, such as this 7. Eliminating all of these options in box 7 down here. That's a 7, revealing this bulb end of the thermometer. I really want to sort of pencil mark all of these. Feels like I may have to. So 8 is down there. I guess 5 and 6 is anywhere. It's not hugely helpful. We've got this 9 staring at this. I could have done this earlier. 6 and 9. The 6 means that's not a 6. Still not really enough. Yeah, I think I am going to have to pencil mark a bit more than I would like to. Just taking a look around for anything obvious. And I'm just sort of drawn to this section here because we've still got some grays. We've got a thermometer. I'm actually thinking maybe it is helpful to think about this thermometer for a moment. Right, so what are all these cells? This is not 1, it's 2, it's not 3, 4, it could be 5, it could be 6, and it could be 7. 8 and 9 are not available. Now, I don't think this could be 2 because this would need to be a 1. It's not available in the box. That's not a 2. This is not 1. It's not 2. Can actually, it's not 3 because we've got 3, 8 in here. It's not 4 either. So this is a minimum of 5, not 6, not 7. And obviously it can't be any higher because the next one along is 5, 6, 7. So this is a 5. That's not a 5. That's 6 or 7. That's also not a 5. 6 or 7 here. I guess it could be 7, 8. Well, not 8, not 9. This is a 7. This is a 6. None of these are 6 now. Not even this one. Neither of these are a 7. This has to be the 7. This can't be a 5 on a black Kropki dot. This has got to be the 2. This has to be the 5. This can still be 1 or 4. It's very tempting to think it's the 1 because we've already cornered it. But this can still absolutely be a 4. 6 looking up here. That's a... yeah, 5, 6. Just notice neither of these are 9s. This 5 is looking here. That's quite helpful actually. 8, 3. What do we need to finish this? 2? Looks like it. 2. We placed an 8. We've got a 5, 6 pair. Oh, that's an 8 as well. We need a 2 in this box. It can only be here because of this 2. We need 5 and 6. No, we need the 6, which can't be in here because of this pair. Therefore, this is the 6. This is the 4. And we know what this is. 3, I think. Now we need 5 and 4, I'm going to say. 4 eliminated here because of this 4. That's the 4. That's the 5. Looking at this 5, 7 pair, that's the 7. That's the 5. I now know what these are. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9. In fact, I can do a bit better. These 7s are actually saying the 7 is here and this is the 9. I know what these are as well. This is 2, 3, or 8, except that's not a 2. I know what these are. This is 4, and I've got this 4 doing some work for me, thankfully. 4 and 8. That's not an 8. The fact that the 4 is here gives me the 1, the 9, 1. Not 1, not 1. That's the 1. That's not a 1. That's the 9. To finish the box, I need a 3, not a 3. I'm just looking at this, kind of surprised it's not resolved, but this 3, 8 is. 2, 8, and just a bit of Sudoku now to finish up. I think that's a 2. We need a 3 somewhere. That's the 3. The 4 is here. This is, I'm going to say a 5, 6, 5. If I've not made any mistakes, it's a 6 to finish today's puzzle. Beautiful puzzle, Flinty. I mean, another fantastic puzzle from you. I absolutely loved it. And if you've not seen sandwich sums before, it just shows you just how incredibly powerful they can be. You know, even with the fog just covering almost the majority of this grid, almost all of it, except for these quads in the beginning, just how much you're able to solve with these sandwich sums and deduce. So thank you for the puzzle, Flinty. I hope that you guys have also enjoyed today's video, and see you back for the next one. Bye for now.